This is a note to viewers. Hello everyone. This video has been edited for the visually impaired. Please pardon any mistakes. Enjoy. The title of the video is Jack and Curtis Go on a Vacation at Walt Disney World on iClone 7. Early this morning at Disney, Jack and Curtis arrived at the park by monorail, and then they pay admission for a 2-day pass. Then they walk into the park, and not far from the gate, they stop to see the horse-pulled trolley. Jack and Curtis are near the trolley while Jack explains this to Curtis.
Well, Curtis, it looks like the trolley driver is waiting for some more people to ride the trolley before we can even start riding it. We may be waiting a long time, son. Do you really want to wait that long, or come back later to ride it?
Oh man, I didn't think about that, Dad. Why don't we come back later, like you said? I guess I can wait till later.
Okay, Curtis, then in that case, we will walk around and find more interesting things to see and ride. Let's go, son.
Yes sir, Dad, we have a lot to see.
And now Jack and Curtis walk out of this scene or slide and into the next slide. Now this next slide shows them standing next to the race car track. And Curtis comments,
Oh look, Dad, I think those cars is the first ride we can get on.
That's a good idea, Curtis. Let's go find the entrance and start riding, son. We still got a long day ahead of us.
Yes sir, I agree.
they walk out of this slide, and in the next slide they come to a stop right where the race car gate is. And Curtis points to it, and he tells his dad,
Look, Dad. There's those cars' entrance. Let's go in.
and Jack also says, they face the other way, and then Jack says,
Oh good, we found it, but first let's look over here at those shirts they got at the gift stand. Then we can go to the cars.
Yes sir, Dad, I like those Disney shirts.
They both walk out of that slide and into the next slide, and then Jack says,
Curtis, how would you like to ride those people mover cars up there?
Yes sir, Dad, but I think the entrance is somewhere over there.
Okay, son, but I think we better hurry and get in line before it gets any longer than it is.
I agree, Dad. We don't want to wait too long.
they both walk out of this slide and into the next slide.
Look, Dad, there's Space Mountain behind the People Mover ride. Let's go to the entrance and ride it.
Sure, son, why not? Let's go and get in line before it gets any bigger. Are you having fun, Curtis?
Yes sir, Dad, I'm really having a great time. Thanks, Dad.
That's good, son. I'm glad you are enjoying the rides, but before we go, let's look at this gift booth over there.
Yes sir, Dad.
And they both walk out of this slide into the next one.
Dad. Why are we stopping? We are going to be in a big line.
Sorry, son, but I think I see a baby bottle over there in that flower bed. The folks don't see it. Let's take a moment to help them.
Yes sir Dad, I understand.
That's good Curtis, let's go check it out.
They both walk out of this slide and into the next one. After riding the roller coaster in Space Mountain, Jack needed to sit down. At the bench nearby, Jack sits down and Curtis, standing up, sits down also. And then he says,
Dad, what's wrong? Are you okay?
Yes Curtis, I just need a minute, that was a very fast roller coaster.
Jack spins his neck around.
Oh, yes sir.
Curtis, it's been a long time since I've been on a fast roller coaster. But I'm okay now son. Okay Curtis, let's go find some more rides.
Yes sir, Dad.
They get up off the bench, out of this slide, and go to the next slide. And then they stand in front of the Carousel of Progress.
Dad. Let's ride the Carousel of Progress over there.
Okay son, but first let's get us some cotton candy before we ride.
Oh man, I love cotton candy, any flavor, good idea Dad.
Okay, and we might get a small drink to go with it. Let's head on over there son.
Sounds good Dad.
Then they walk out of this slide, and then into the next slide. Later, after riding the carousel, Jack and Curtis come up on another area of the park, and they talk about attractions.
Okay Curtis, I'm about to do a small YouTube speech to our viewers about these attractions. So let's say what's on our minds son. Then, we will grab us a meal, and then we continue our rides and such.
Oh man, Dad I'm not sure if I know what to say, but I will try.
That's okay, Curtis, I'm sure it will come to you. Okay, we will now address the viewers. Hello YouTubers. I'm Jack, and you already know Curtis my son. In this video, we've been going all over this park, and we are having a blast, and so I wanted everyone to know that even though me and Curtis are having a lot of fun, it's still hard to do everything in one day. Don't you agree Curtis?
Yes sir Dad, I agree. It's hard to see everything or ride it all. But I would like to say that, for example, these movies behind me are not mine or Dad's favorite, so yes, it's hard to go to an attraction if you don't care for it.
Very well said son. You are getting good as me when it comes to talking to the viewers. Okay, I also wanted to remind everyone, that our background is just still images. Well, I am showing them this way because it's our new way of presenting our memories by using a green screen or using an animating software like iClone 7 or 8. And that you can use your own videos to do the same thing. I want you to know that not all rides are necessary if you don't like that ride. For example, when I got dizzy after riding Space Mountain, I decided that I won't ride fast roller coaster anymore. What do you think of roller coasters son?
They don't bother me Dad, but then again, I haven't ate anything yet, so I guess if we eat now, I have to avoid fast rides.
Very well put Curtis. Okay everyone, we will go back to our touring the park and picking rides that are slow and shows that we like. We will talk to everyone a bit later in this video. Later friends. Say later Curtis. Then we eat.
Later friends, thanks for watching us.
They walk out of this slide, and in the next slide, they stand on a bridge that's going over a river with some big rocks in the background and a building. and they wave to the camera. And in the next slide, they wave to the camera again in front of Walt Disney statue with the Mickey Mouse next to them. And then they walk out of that slide, and in the next slide, they stand in front of a train station. And then they say,
Okay son, we better hurry to the train before they leave.
Yes sir, I agree, man, this is going to be fun.
then they walk out of this slide, and in the next slide, they go next to the train car and try to prepare for a place to sit.
Okay Curtis, I guess we better take a seat before they leave us behind.
Yes sir, I agree Dad.
And then they go for a seat. Then they walk out of this slide, and in the next slide, they pose to the camera with the sign behind them called Adventureland. And then they walk out of that slide and into the next slide. They pose again, waving in front of the Frontierland sign. And then they walk out of that slide, and in the next one they pose and wave in front of the Thunder Mountain ride. Now they walk out of this slide, and in the next slide they stand in front of the big Thunder Mountain Railroad roller coaster. And
Dad, do you think you can handle riding this small roller coaster?
Yes Curtis, a small one I can handle, but not the fast ones. These kinds don't go as fast son. Let's get in line son.
Yes sir, Dad.
then they walk out of this slide, and in the next slide they sit down on a bench in front of a fence, and behind the fence is hedges, and then they talk about
Curtis, did you enjoy that big Thunder Mountain roller coaster ride?
Yes sir, I enjoyed that ride, I like how it's designed.
Curtis, it won't be long before we have to leave and get back to the hotel. Then we can come to our second day pass.
Oh man, I hope we can get a few more rides today Dad.
Well son, it's already getting late, and tomorrow is another day for finishing up our tour of this park. You do understand, right son?
Yes sir, I understand Dad. I thank you for sharing with me Dad. Are we going to eat in here again, or at the hotel?
Well Curtis, you do get one more ride, and that's the monorail to the parking lot. And yes, we will eat outside Disney son.
I understand Dad, we can start our way out now Dad, cause it's a long walk getting out of here. Thanks for helping me understand Dad.
I'm glad you understand son, now we can start walking back son.
they get off the bench and start to walk out of this slide, and in the next slide they pose and wave to the camera again. They pose in front of the big Thunder Mountain before they leave. Jack and Curtis return to Disney the next day.
Okay Curtis, we are now in front of the riverboat entrance. How does it feel to be back in Disney again?
Oh man, It feels great, Dad. I'm glad we got an early start.
Very good, son. Just remember, like I said on the monorail, that we only have a lot less attractions and rides to go see. Now son, let's get on that boat.
Yes sir, Dad, I understand. We will both have fun. Let's ride the boat now, Dad.
They walk out of that slide, and in the next slide, they wave to the camera next to the riverboat on the dock. Then they walk out of that slide, and in the next slide, they stand in front of the Hall of Presidents.
Oh man, let's go see the Hall of Presidents, Dad.
That's a good idea, son. It can be very educational. Let's go on in, Curtis.
Yes sir, Dad. We go in.
They walk out of this slide, and in the next slide, they stand near the Haunted Mansion. And Curtis says,
Dad, let's go see the Haunted Mansion over there. Are you too scared to go in, Dad?
Okay, Curtis, and no, I'm not scared, son. It's all made up, son. Now, let's get in line, son.
Yes sir, Dad. This is going to be scary. I'm just kidding.
they walk out of this slide, and in the next slide, they stand in front of the restroom.
Oh man, Dad, I have to use the restroom real bad.
Okay, Curtis, I will wait for you right here. Don't take long, son.
Yes sir, Dad, I will try to hurry.
Jack sits down while Curtis heads for the restroom, but Jack makes a remark.
Okay, YouTubers, in these situations, the less you drink, the less you have to go in the restrooms. Also, I want to take this moment to explain that when we walk out of the frame, it is supposed to be like we are going into the picture, but we can't, cause if we do, we will get too small looking, more like a marble. Okay, I see Curtis coming back, I will meet up with him. Later, viewers.
And then Jack stands up, and then they both leave this slide, and in the next slide, they are standing in front of the attraction called It's a Small World. And they say,
Dad, let's go ride the song, It's a Small World.
Okay, Curtis, that's a good idea. You lead the way, son.
Yes sir.
they lead this slide, and Curtis gets a head start while his daddy is behind. And in the next slide, they stand in front of the Peter Pan flight ride. And Curtis says,
Look, Dad, let's go ride Peter Pan's flight.
Yes, Curtis, I always like Peter Pan. Let's get in line, son.
Yes sir, Dad.
and then they walk out of this slide, and then they walk into the next slide, and Curtis says,
Dad, let's go see Mickey's Pillar of Magic, please? Please?
Curtis, you don't have to beg, I'm having fun also, so just call out the ride, and I will be glad to share it, unless it's too fast a ride. Okay, son, let's get in line.
Yes sir, Dad, I will say it like before. Let's get in that line.
Okay, they get out of this slide, and then they get into the next slide, and they stand in front of a bunch of baby carriages. And they talk about going to the Tom Sawyer Island.
Dad, let's ride that boat to Tom Sawyer's Island. Oh man, Dad, I think my voice is slowly trying to change.
Okay Curtis, it just might be trying to change son, but it happens to boys around your age. And yes, let ride to Tom Sawyer's Island son.
That makes sense, Dad. Okay, we can try to get on that boat.
They walk out of this slide, and then into the next slide. They get on the boat, and then Curtis's dad says,
Curtis, what do you think of this boat?
Oh man, I like it.
Looks like it's going to be a moment before we can get over there, Curtis.
Yes sir, that's what it looks like. I guess we just wait, and be patient, right?
That's right son, that's all we can do is be patient, just like you said.
and they just stand there on the boat, looking around at everybody else that's riding the boat, until Jack and Curtis arrived to Tom Sawyer's Island, but after 15 minutes of hiking, they take a break and sit down at an old picnic table.
Wow, Curtis, everything looks old on this island, just like in the Tom Sawyer movies.
Yes sir, Dad, I agree. Man, Dad, we needed to sit down a bit. We've been walking all over this island, and it seems like we are going in circles.
I agree son, it does seem like a repeat, but, Curtis, let's me and you go to Harper's Mill, and get our picture taken.
Oh man, that seems like a great idea, Dad. It's not supposed to be far from here. I'm ready to go there.
I'm ready too son.
They stand up from the picnic table and go to the next slide, and then they pose and wave at the camera at Harper's Mill. Then they walk out of this slide and into the next slide. They pose again and wave in front of the train in another location of the park. Then they walk out of this slide, and then they walk into the next slide and pose and wave to the camera while they are next to the cars track. Then they walk out of this slide, and then they walk into the next slide, and Curtis asks to ride the Seven Dwarfs train roller coaster.
Dad, can you handle riding the Seven Dwarfs train?
Yes Curtis, it's like Big Thunder Mountain ride that we rode yesterday. Okay, let's get in line son.
Yes sir, Dad. Man, this is going to be fun.
They walk out of this slide, and in the next slide, Curtis says,
Dad, let's ride the Aladdin magic carpet.
Curtis, you go ahead and ride it son, it's too fast for me. I will stay right in this area and say a few words to our viewers.
Oh, yes sir, I will go ahead and get in line. See you in a little while, Dad.
Curtis walks away while Jack makes his comment to the viewer.
Hello YouTubers. Like I told Curtis, I didn't feel the need to ride a fast ride if I know it's going to bother me. If you are in an amusement park and you have doubts about fast rides, then just say no to the ride. If you don't know, then after a first fast ride makes you sick or feel dizzy, then your body is saying don't do that again. So my advice is, to go with how you feel. Don't overdo it. But if you get sick, it will make your park experience seem like a waste of money. If you feel like taking 10 or 15 minutes to sit in a shade, that might help you get back on your feet. Also, I feel that when you are younger, it's easier to ride fast rides. But that is not always the case. Some young kids are not fit for fast rides. Don't take a chance on a kid that is not able to handle certain rides. For example, some kids might not be able to sleep very well after trying to ride the Haunted Mansion. I hope this help everyone that enjoys amusement parks. I see Curtis coming back off the ride. I will meet up with him, okay? Later, viewers.
Jack walks out of that slide, and then he walks into the next slide, meets up with Curtis, and they stand in front of an ice cream shop.
Curtis, we are at the ice cream shop. What kind of ice cream would you like?
Oh man, that's hard. I think if they have it, I want the Superman flavor, with all those colors, Dad.
Okay son, you get us a table and wait, while I order the ice cream. I think I might get butter pecan. I will join you in a bit son.
Yes sir, Dad, that's a good flavor also. I will be waiting over here, Dad.
Okay son, I will be back in a jiffy, I hope.
Curtis walks out of the picture or slide first, then Jack walks out of the slide, and in the next slide, they both stand in front of the Winnie the Pooh entrance.
Okay, Curtis, we are done with our time here in Disney, and so we do need to get on the road son, and head home. It's been a long day, so Curtis, let's say bye to the viewers, and then when we are home watching this video, we will close the video after I get Terry to help us get it edited. I picked this spot because of the Winnie the Pooh entrance behind us. I hope you understand son.
Oh, yes sir, Dad, I do understand, Dad. It has been a long day. And thanks for bringing me to Disney, Dad, and I love you, Dad.
I love you too son. Okay, let's say bye friends. Bye, friends.
Bye, friends, see you when the video is done.
They both leave that slide, and then the next slide says, "The end, thanks for watching. However, it's not over yet. There's still another scene coming up." The end, thanks for watching. And now for the next scene. Okay, in this next scene, Jack and Curtis are home, and Jack is sitting in a chair. Curtis is standing up next to his daddy, and they are outside by the house, two-story house, and there's a TV outside, and they are about to say,
Okay Curtis, what did you think of our video?
Oh man, I love it, Dad. What did you think of it, Dad?
I like it Curtis, but I was amazed at how much talking for our viewers that we did. but mostly I enjoy both the vacation, and our new video. And I hope YouTubers will too.
Oh, I see. So now we close the video, right, Dad?
You are right, Curtis, it's time to close. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed our vacation video. Please subscribe, and click that like button, and also don't forget to click that bell, so you can know we have a new video ready. And leave us some comments, so we can know what you thought of it. Okay, until next time. Bye, friends. Say bye, Curtis.
Bye, friends, thanks for watching, see you soon.
And now these are the credits. So that ends this video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. That song is It's a Small World.